ఓం శ్రీ గురుభ్యో నమ. అందరికీ నమస్కారం. In this video, let us examine what is the consciousness and awareness in the adversities of life. You see, man is conscious enough to be aware of the pain, misery and sufferings of life. But man is not conscious enough to be aware of the joys of life. A little bit consciousness is enough to be aware of the pain and suffering or misery. But much more consciousness is required to be aware of the gifts of life. So, whatever the little bit or slight consciousness which has arisen in man, he tries to drown that consciousness in pursuit of material objects. So, he goes on pursuing in acquiring wealth, power, money, etc. Because whatever the consciousness, little consciousness has arisen in him, he will not be content or he will not be satisfied with that little bit consciousness arisen in him. So, he goes on pursuing the material world to drown that consciousness unconsciously. See, to be aware of the gifts of life and there is only one method, that is to grow more and more in consciousness, to be aware of the gifts of life. Because whatever the man learned from the awakening of that little consciousness, it cannot be unlearned. So, the only method and the only way for a seeker is to grow more and more in consciousness. You see, when you in this connection, there is a saying of Kabir, great sage. He says, Hansa karo purana baat. O swan, remember your real home. What he means to say is, you remember from where you have come. O swan, remember where is your home, from where you have come and where you are going. So this is what his saying goes on. So the point here is, mystics like Kabir refer to swan as a metaphor. So he is addressing the swan. The swan is born in Himalayan ranges in Manas Sarovar lake, a great lake, a pious lake in the Himalayan ranges. So it is the purest and the holiest Ganges in the Himalayan mountains. So Kabir says, you remember your real home. So the swan comes to the other part, to the plains in the cold times, in the winter times. So when it comes to the plains, it forgets its own way to reach home. So it dwells on the plains and goes on moving here and there as a wanderer. So Kabir says, remember your home. Recall the days you have spent in your home. So here what the Kabir is referring is to the soul of the man. The soul which has come from the holiest of holiest, from the purest consciousness of the divinity, is wandering here and there, pursuing some material objects under the illusion that they give bliss. It is wandering under the illusions. So the duty of the master is to awaken that swan in the disciple. So the master, out of love, tries to awaken that purest soul to remember and to realize that home of purity, of divinity, from where it has come to the earth. So when it goes on, when the seeker or when the disciple on the divine path, he has some glimpses, some insights, but they are not enough to be fully aware of his divinity. So, in this regard, there is an ancient story. A disciple served his master for a number of years and learned all that the master taught about everything in the context of divinity. So, the master, having satisfied with the disciple, asked him and told him that your training and your spiritual practices are over as far as I am concerned. But there is only one initiation has to be given to you as a last initiation. But I will give this initiation, this last initiation, in a unique way. So, follow my command and do as I guide you. So, disciple very much is satisfied and asked the master to give his command for his last initiation. So, the master told the disciple like this: there is a king of this land. He gives everything, whatever asked for, to anybody who approaches him in the first hour when he comes out after finishing his prayers. So, go to the king and ask him whatever you wish at that time. This is my command. So, the disciple obeyed the command of the master and went to the king in the morning hours. So, he was waiting, the disciple was waiting in the garden of the king at the place which was indicated by the staff of the king. So, the king finished his prayers and came out and saw the disciple and asked him, wish whatever you wish, I will fulfill your wish. That's what the king told the disciple. Then the disciple, who came from a very poor family, thought in the mind that if I ask some 1 lakh rupees, it is sufficient. Then again another thought came, why not ask the double amount? Then again the third thought has come. So, in this series of thoughts, his desire goes on multiplying. So finally, he doesn't know how much to ask for. So the king observed the attitude and the feelings of the disciple and told him that you please think over and come to a conclusion and ask me. I will fulfill all your wishes. I'll go for a walk and come within half an hour. So decide by the time I come back. So he left for a walk. So the disciple again thought and finally came to the conclusion that the king is so rich, so whatever I ask, it will be less than his kingdom. So I will ask for the kingdom of the king. That's what he decided. By the time the king returned. So the king heard the wish of the disciple. The disciple told the king, you give me your kingdom, everything, just wear your dress and get lost. This is what the disciple told the king. The king immediately felt very much elated and prostrated before the disciple, then turned to the divinity and prayed like this, "Oh Lord, I am very thankful, I am very much blessed. You heard my prayers. I have been praying you for the last 30 years to fulfill this wish. You have sent this young man to fulfill my wish. I am relieved very much. I thank you profusely. I don't know how to open my heart and pour out my feelings of the heart at your feet. I am very thankful. I am very grateful to your blessings in this way and in the form of this young man." This is what his prayer to the Lord. The disciple, this young disciple, heard the prayer and the outpouring of the king. Then something happened in him. What for I have come to the king at the command of my master. My master did not give me any clue about what to be asked. He said, whatever you wish at that time, please ask the king. What I have done, having done so much spiritual practices and having heard so much from the master about the divinity, about its mercy, grace, what I have asked. So when the king is praying to be relieved of this, I am asking that wish to be fulfilled. It is not right on my part to ask for something which the other is feeling as a responsibility and burden and ready to pass on to whomsoever wish the same. No, I should not accept this kingdom and fulfillment of my wish anymore. I will go back to the master. I came here for the last initiation. So he told the king that he do not want anything and left that place. So he approached the master, and master told him, I have been observing, my dear son, how you will react to the king's order or command. I am afraid, really, because I am afraid that you may accept whatever is being given to you by the king. So I have been curious enough to watch you and your mental state. Finally, you have relinquished the request, you have relinquished the wish arose in you, and you wanted only that eternal kingdom of the Lord. So you have relinquished. I am very happy, and your last initiation is over, because now whatever the circumstances in life, you will not succumb to the situation, and you will be conscious and aware and be watchful of all the consequences that may follow in such kind of situations, if you desire or wish, etc. So you will be growing more and more in your consciousness, and simultaneously you will be growing in your awareness of realizing the realities of divinity. So your last initiation is over. So this is what is necessary for a seeker on the divine path. Whatever situations in life, be watchful, grow more in awareness, maintain that constant awareness of your affectionate, close friend, that is nature or God, who always guides you and protects you in his embrace, in his arms. So